Good morning, my dear students, and welcome back to the class on direct and indirect speech. The previous class we had gone through the past tense to understand how it is converted from direct into indirect speech. So far we have completed the first two tenses, they are present tense and the past tense. In today's class we are going to deal with the future tense and see how it can be converted from direct into indirect speech. So that's what we are going to learn today. We are going to see how a direct speech in future tense is changed into indirect speech. So come to the first one, simple future tense. The only change that will happen in simple future tense is that the will be changed into would. The tense is not going to be changed. The only change that will happen in indirect speech is that the will be changed into would. I'll give an example to understand it better. Take the direct speech and the indirect speech. First let's go through the direct speech. He said, I will write a letter. That is given in a direct speech, and when you are converting the direct into indirect speech, see the change that happens here. He said that he would write a letter. The will is changed into would. There is no any other change that will happen when you are converting simple future from direct into indirect speech. I hope you have understood it. Now moving on to the next one, future continuous tense. The only change that will happen in future continuous tense is that will be is converted into would be. I'll give an example for you to understand it better. Let's go through the direct and indirect speech. He said, I will be writing a letter. See the indirect speech. He said that he would be writing a letter. So will be is changed into would be. The tense remains the same. There is no change in the tense. Will be changed into would be. Now moving on to the third one, that is future perfect tense. The future perfect tense, the change that happens is that will have is changed into would have. Will have is changed into would have. Let's go through the example to understand it better. See the direct and indirect speech. Direct speech, he said, I will have written a letter. When you are converting into indirect speech, it becomes he said that he would have written a letter. So what is the change that happened there? Will have is changed into would have. Will have is changed into would have. There is no any other change. Now moving on to the last one, that is future perfect continuous tense. And the change that happens there is that will have been is changed into would have been. Will have been is changed into, see the change, the will have been is converted into would have been. Let's go through an example to understand it better. See the direct speech. He said, I will have been writing a letter. In direct speech, he said that he would have been writing a letter. So what is the change that happens there? The change that happens there is that will have been is converted into would have been. The tense is not changed. So my dear students, I hope you have understood the changes that will happen in the future tense. The only change that will happen in future tense is that will is converted into or changed into would. Simple future, will is changed into would. Future continuous tense will be to would be. Future perfect tense will have changed into would have. In future perfect continuous tense, will have been changed into would have been. So we have completed all the three tenses: present tense, past tense, and the future tense. Can you go through these notes once again and try to understand it better? So once again, my dear students, take your studies seriously.